it's not my fault that you can't keep up. Like, it's
Uh,
okay. Like, I get it.
okay,
You know,
okay.
oh, difficult characters. You know, there's not much we can do with them. I took like an hour to come
Yeah.
up with what, 7 perks or whatever. They're like obviously very
Still a
good.
better pace than me. Okay, when leaping, you can grab people in the air. No. You can leap and grab onto walls. No. In Primal Rage, fully charged bar grants balls piled river. Okay, no. Leap leaves a burning patch in the ground very beat. No. When bubbles reduced to 0 HP, leave electrical AoE on the floor. No. When bubbles reduced to 0 HP, explodes. No. If you deal X damage to left click, your next right click is instant cast. No. I'm not really thinking about any of these to be very clear. It's just because it's in this channel, I'm just going to go and assume no. So just so that we're
I
on
know you're saying no, but I can also hear you accidentally typing all of this into the created Discord you have. So don't worry, I'll take it personally.
Listen, if I say no, I cannot be legally. If I get royalties for this stuff, I mean, I don't know. I came up with the inspiration just out of thin air. I don't know where I came up with these ideas, so I'll gladly take the
Royalties, eh?
royalties. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. So
Mm.
yeah. Thank you for your ideas. Legally, I don't like them. Let's just make sure that that's very. Now I might come to my own conclusions that are shockingly similar to yours at some point in the future, but that's
Oh, of
legally not
course.
binding. Okay. How's Tank been?
I mean, playing tank is playing tank. Um, I'm constantly at the mercy of the people that I'm playing with.
Uh huh.
I I feel like every time that I have a semi-competent team, I win
Uh
because
huh.
I feel like I'm the difference maker.
Uh
But
huh.
then I'll play games where it's like, man, wouldn't it be really cool if they like press W?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just
Yeah.
be like the best thing in the world? And they never do. And I'm like, well, okay, I suppose I'll go next. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. 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 Welcome to the blind spot. Um, that's especially lined up with like your experience and your knowledge about the game. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because you talk about like there's certain expectations you put in your teammates. I mean, you even say that in your form, right? And then the frustration when they don't follow up off of that. I mean, you know this as well as I do. Like that's kind of how my problem with Tank too. That and when I can't stop playing this Doomfist character, but realistically, it's the same kind of thing. Like you know a lot, you expect a lot, and so when you're putting expectations on your teammates, you're like skipping steps, right? It's like, oh, they will follow up, or they will be fighting in the same location that I want to fight, or they will do this or they'll do that. Another thing that's really common, at least for me in that same situation, it might be common for you as well. We'll take a look. Is being very resource demanding. So there's like an expectation of like, I know what to do here. And so you unconsciously just start expecting pocket basically all the time, right? Which is obviously not the best, smartest, and best thing either. So,
Yeah, I have that problem, but I have it like one step further where I keep, I keep on playing with supports that can't even heal me at all. And it's just like,
more your mercy
please.
moments.
Yeah, I like we was playing like today I was trying to get to platinum because I wanted to see if I could get there before this review because it's really important for my ego for it to
I
say
saw you were
platinum on
one
the very
game off.
video.
Yeah.
Oh mate, don't honestly. And then I lost and I was like, I'm gonna
Tell you what, I will be
um,
I will be merciful and I'll give you a platinum in the title. But you have to be like fully locked in for this review. If I hear any like squabbling or but or excuses, then I'm gonna demote you to silver. So it's just a
I
dice
will
roll.
only here's the deal. I will only ever say but to explain my thought process, not because
Oh,
I
of
disagree with
course.
you, but for you
Yes.
to then say why
Oh,
is
of
this wrong so
course.
that I can have an underlying improvement in knowledge because
Sure.
ultimately that's what actually needs to
I
change.
mean, I guess it's technically the best way to coach and to learn, but we're going to be missing out on opportunities to lampoon you, so it's going to be a tough call for me. I might give it a pass, though. Hero pool. Winston Doom Ryan, still the same?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, in the sense that those are characters I'm playing,
Mm-hmm.
but this was actually something I wanted to ask you because I'm thinking to myself, Winston's a character I want to play,
Yep.
and I'll play that character as much as I can depending on the maps that are presented to me.
Yep.
But I was actually going to say to you, in with that in mind, what other tanks would be the best to complement Winston specifically?
Oh,
Because
I see what you're
when
saying.
Winston's bad, it must mean that these tanks are good because there must be some sort of like pendulum or whatever.
Um,
And I don't, because I'm not really like, I look at the rest of the tanks, so I could play all of these. I actually don't mind. But I want to play Winston, but then when I can't, it's like, well, I don't
I
know.
mean, I think Doom and Ryan are
Ryan.
okay. I think Doom and Ryan are okay. Like, if you think about like what's going to discourage Winston, it's going to be like these Torb comps or like Reaper, uh, you know, which is like fine with Doomfist. It's not like the greatest character of all time, but like Doomfist has a lot more counterplay, especially with the parry perk versus that kind of stuff. Like you charge Empowered Punch, you frontline trade, no problem. The other problem with Winston, the one that's probably even more important than that, is flat maps, right? Circuit Royales.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
and which,
flat maps where it's like I can't, not because of what I'm playing against, but because of what the game is giving me.
yeah.
That kind of
Well,
thing.
but the thing with that is Doom and Rhine are really good there. Doom is the best dive map on flat maps, or the best dive tank. Sorry, because you could frontline trade, off angle trade, build and power punch, AoE punch, slam, AoE punch, slam, AoE punch. Like, I don't know if you saw me. I played a recent game on Rune Sapi. It's kind of similar, right? Where they were going like full counters on me, and I made a lot of mechanical beefs that cost us the game, but we almost won it, and they were full counters on my Doomfist. But just because I could off-angle frontline trade over and over and over again, we almost won, despite my horrendous mechanics. So it's like, it's not impossible. Doomfist is the best dive tank on flat maps.
Cool.
And Ryan obviously is good. Like, it's not going to be necessarily the funnest experience ever, but in terms of value that you provide, it'll be high. It'll be really high. Fat fire strikes, a lot of shield value, big shatter value, a lot of corner presence in someone. So, yeah, I think your hero pool is fine. Like, if you were to like, what is the optimal hero pool? It would be something like Winston Sigma. I don't know, Zarya, Winston Sigma, Doom, something like that would be fine. Like throwing Sigma in there as the optimal tank in those situations. But you really, that's not like, that's such a minor detail, and I don't even know if you like Sigma. I don't think it's a problem.
I played Sigma a little bit. I think he's all right. When
All right.
when I'm on a map that makes him easy to play, like when I don't have to worry about like anyone
Right.
attacking me from like the infinite angles.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm playing like Suravasa or whatever, and it's like I have like 360 decisions on which way I want to put my shield.
Yeah.
I'll just play a different character. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, on like that Suravasa, like Doomfist just is really good in Flashpoint. And I think Ryan's okay as well. So yeah, I mean, you're fine. Winston, Doom, and Ryan is fine. If you really wanted to, you could squeeze Sigma to replace either Doomfist or Reinhardt. But honestly, like I might replace Ryan with Sigma. But again, like you're not quite plat yet. Like this is meaningless. And I think in terms of like hero strength right now, I think Winston and Doomfist are quite strong right now. So I don't think that you should feel the need to swap. Like if you were talking to me like, oh, I'm playing Orisa, Roadhog, you know, whatever, that's my hero pool. I'm like, yeah, those heroes aren't very strong. Like even in Platinum, they're not super strong. But Winston and Doomfist are really good with perks. So I leave it.
Yeah.
Any questions about schedule, playtime? We've talked about this in the four. You probably have a general idea of what you should be doing. How has that been?
So in terms of like the amount that I can actually play, I can basically play as much Overwatch as I want because I'm very, very, very lucky that I have a job where I'm able to do basically all of my work within like 2 hours and then I have the rest of the day and I'm working from home. So like today, for example, like if I was, having like a real job, then, I'd immediately come home and I'd do this thing with you. Whereas today I was like, I'm going to start playing Overwatch at like 12 here because it's 4 o'clock here.
Yeah.
So I've been able to like play a bunch of games, like I say, trying to get to platinum. So in terms of like the amount I can play, it's basically as much as I want. In terms of schedule, as of now, I'd say I play pretty much every day unless I'm just not in the mood. But even then, that's still be like 5 days a week, and I can play like I normally get to 2 hours, and then I'm like, I'm just not going to play very well, so I'm just not going to play at all.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, for playtime for your goals is like platinum diamond is very reasonable. It's very reasonable. Come. I know too much for someone in my rank. Yeah, I guess the question is just going to be really crucially, can we actually like implement the knowledge that you have? Can we actually transition the knowledge into actionable stuff? And I think a lot of it will come from your playtime practice and how you're practicing. So I guess if you're looking at how you're practicing right now, where are the weak points? What needs to be done better? What habits can you clean up? Because I don't even need to tell you. You probably already can self-analyze a little bit here.
Oh yeah. Every now and then I'll catch myself doing like very aggressive dives, and I know like within a millisecond of me doing it, I'm like, this is me just trying to be like, listen to the voices. I can just kill 3 people. I'm just that good. And then I die instantly. I'm like, man, that's really stupid, huh?
Yeah.
Why'd I do that? That wasn't a very good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't happen very often, for what it's worth.
Okay.
But when it happens, it's like immediately punished, as I should be. So that's nice.
Okay. For practice, in terms of like your consistency of schedule, your tilt and so on, how has that been?
My tilt is entirely self-inflicted, which I think is great. I know you mentioned it. Basically, I'm the same as you, cursed with knowledge. And the problem is that I'll then look at teammates and then they won't play the way that I think they should play, and then I end up tilting myself, and it's got nothing to do with them
Yeah.
in actual,
Yeah.
as a fact of the matter, which I think is really funny. If it wasn't so tragic. Practice, I the only problem I have with practice, well, there are two things. The first is that I have a really bad habit. I noticed this a lot when I was playing Tracer, is that I would find myself in a situation where it's like, this is a really good opportunity to practice this. So I'll engage on a 1v1 as a Tracer, and I'll be like, okay, this is a really good time to practice my trigger discipline.
Yeah.
Or this is a really good time to try and think about using my pulse properly. But I never go into a game specifically practicing one thing. I end up kind of pinballing around to lots of different things at the same time. But
Sure.
with that being said, I don't ever play brain off. I'm always thinking, how can I improve? What can I do here? This is a situation against presenting me. What should I do? And then I'll actually go and do it, or at least try, you know.
I mean, I
Just
think it's
like,
okay.
I'm good at practicing. It's just not locking down to individual things, which might mean that I'm doing like a bit of jack of all trades rather than like focusing on what I actually need to.
Yeah, I don't think that's a huge problem as long as you're staying cognizant like of what you're doing the entire time, and maybe in a situational point by point, like you're moving on to different topics. I would say certain topics would demand more attention. Like I think the typical Spylo session, where should you set up pre-fight? Where's your angle? Where's your high ground? And so on. That probably could demand your attention for an entire game, right? Just because that's something that you should be thinking about before and between every fight without exception, right? But if you find yourself dancing around from mechanical things and maybe a little bit, I'll think about my ultimate here because I have it. Okay, now I don't have my ultimate, so what should I think about? That's fine. That's fine. As long as you find yourself cognizantly actually practicing it. And then in terms of your tilt stuff, you talked about like being self-inflicted, but I encourage you to take some deliberate, specific action towards mitigating that as much as you possibly can. Because it's, it's funny to talk about in OG, but we're going to have to, we'll look at it in replay review and maybe talk about where some of your weak points are so you can focus on yourself. But ultimately, like, that is a big deal, right? It is a big deal. Your ability to stay locked in on what you're supposed to be doing is really important. It's probably the most important thing that we'll talk about today. So in terms of you taking responsibility with that, I really, really, really strongly recommend that has to be something that is looked at and improved at.
Yeah, I think it's more of a mood thing because I will play a game and I'm like, you know what, screw you, mate, this was a good play. This was the right thing to do. I know this is the right thing to do. And then it didn't work. But it's because there wasn't any follow-up. And I'll be like, well, I don't care because I did the right play. Screw you, whatever.
Yeah,
but then sometimes I'm in a worse mood and I'm like, this should be working. Why isn't this working? I'm doing good things.
Yeah.
Why am I not like, like I'm pressing a button. Why am I not getting a cookie? This is stupid.
Yeah.
But that's more of like a mood thing. But that doesn't happen very often. I just know that it's like, I can't say, oh, it doesn't happen very often, thus it doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a lot of the time it's us just getting our priorities wrong, where it's like we do the strategically right thing, but we don't consider where we fight. Like the example you said, like we're not fighting with the team. So it doesn't matter if we took a good dive if it was just us, What's the point? So it's just a sense of reminding yourself that the priority is fighting with my team first, then positioning myself appropriately, So if you start getting that order wrong because the other one is a lot flashier, a lot more attractive, it's way more strategic, it's the recent reviews concept that we talked about, but you're missing the forest for the trees, right? You're missing the forest for the trees, and you just can't do that. As painful as it can be sometimes, you just cannot do that, and that's where I think expectations can really gank you.
Yeah, for sure. It's like doing a sick guitar solo in an empty concert hall.
Right.
It's
well,
like,
it's more than that. It's doing a sick guitar solo right in the middle of the chorus. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yo, hey, we're singing right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not only is it not appreciated, but you're actively disrupting your entire team's experience because they're setting up for something else and you're just going in a completely different direction. That's just the nature of team play, So, okay.
Yeah,
Any other questions here?
I have one, but it's a bit vague.
Sure.
So let's just go with like a hypothetical. I'm on high ground. I see a Zen, he's isolated, whatever. I want to do a big old dive. I want to kill him. I want him dead.
Yeah.
What is the objective optimal dive? Like in terms of like you do this, then do this, then do this, and then you hit them. Because what I'm doing now, hopefully consistently, is that I will shock them, melee cancel, land on his forehead.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
know that, like, watching videos in the past, even before I played Winston, just because I find his gameplay interesting anyway, so I watched a lot of them. I know that, like, the alternate fire is in there somewhere, but I know a couple of times it hasn't, like, it's been good, and then they like season 9, so it's changed things. I saw the crash very good.
Yeah.
So I don't know what, like, the actual, like, if you do this and do this every time, you are optimally diving on a character when you're using your leap.
The
Not that
way
they'll
to
do it, but it's just like good to know.
Yeah, the simplest way to think about it is if you're far enough away to where you can land the alternate fire and also land your primary fire as you're landing, then it's a good alternate fire. The problem with the alternate fire is that delay, of course, as you mentioned. So if you find yourself alternate firing on a jump, but by the time, where are we at here? That was Dorado, yeah? Yeah. But if you find yourself alternate firing and then landing immediately afterwards, and then there's that long delay, that's no bueno. So you have to be able to get the alternate fire out and done before you land. Like a good half a second before you land. So, can you see stream here? I restarted it, so you'll have to click around.
I'm clicking on your face, but nothing's happening.
You'll need to click on my face.
Oh,
and
I have to click on
over.
this one.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another one. Yeah, gotcha.
So if I go here, that long delay just kills, right? So it's like you kind of have to find a situation where it's like here. You see that right there? That's kind of what you want, where I actually have time to actually resume my fire. Let's do it on this tank bot here. There's just too much delay. And I'm not getting the melee cancel right, so let me try it again here. Oh dear. You can kind of see there, though, the idea is that I'm actually able to land and get it off before it actually matters. So this is too late. You see that? That's too late. That's when you would not do your alternate fire, you just shoot. Whereas a jump from like this distance instead, that's better. Because I was able to actually primary fire pretty much immediately. Because the problem is that as you're landing, you see that damage like as I'm landing, that's basically as much as an alternate fire. So you never really want to use your alternate fire in a situation where you're like doing that. That's too close. So it's just a question of distance, that's all.
So if I do the alternate fire, but the jump is too short, is that less DPS?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. So essentially, what I'm doing now is correct, but if I do jumps that are longer, I should try and fit it in where I can. So like the base, what I'm doing as a fundamental
like
base
that right
is good.
there. Yeah,
but then
that
I can
right
extend it based on distance. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So for me here, it would be like here. That would be a better one there. I didn't get the melee cancel, but yeah, that's basically the idea. So I would say if you're this far away, probably fine to use your alternate fire. But if you're anywhere closer than that, like let's say if I were to give you a hard number, you would want to be in the air 20 meters away before you do your consider an alternate fire. If you're any closer than 20 meters, like if I'm here, I can alternate fire before I jump. But if I'm jumping here, I don't want to be charging an alternate fire. It just needs to be just straight up zaps. Because otherwise it's too long.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I do a lot of pre-zaps before I jump anyway, so it's kind of like ish the same, but the difference is that obviously if I zap them first from a distance, it gives them time to react. Don't know where I am, but yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so this code is
to be honest.
This code is decent. Like I think we got to the very end before it crashed, so that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very difficult support line to play Winston with, but a good character for the map, right? So, and not a particularly hard backline to deal with either. So let's take a look here.
Yeah, the reason I picked this code is because good character on the right kind of map. I was happy with how I played. It wasn't perfect. Like I'm sure you'll see the mistakes soon enough. But it's like I'm happy with how I played, but we still lost. So it's like clearly there's something in there that you know.
Yep. So this is all fine in terms of staging. This is good. Good use of alt fire here. You're waiting for a bubble. It's no problem. Kind of lost her, but it's fine. We should be able to follow up off of that.
I've noticed that actually quite recently. Sometimes I'll lose people because they're like jumping over my head a lot.
It's just okay so far.
I'll just like put my gun in the air and just zap around everyone, just hope that I clip them or something.
Zen's a weird one. I actually really like playing tanks with Zen. No comment on that one because it just there's so much pressure on the enemy tank, you know. So it's like, yeah, you don't have a lot of healing, but it feels really nice to just always have like that Discord and enemy tank or something else that I'm diving.
I just like the support that can reach me, to be honest. Like that's enough, you know. Like I literally played this map today, and I was playing with a Mercy and a Ilyari, and I'm like, I'm just not going to get healed.
So this is just where the details are wrong, and this is by far my weakest aspect of Winston because I haven't played him seriously for years. So I always have like an expectation of myself to cleanly like play Winston. But like for example here, this bubble is just really too late. That needs to be done a little bit early, considering how deep you're landing in there. So that means we get knocked out. Okay, no big problem. That's fine. We still hold the angle here. But then this here, like, this is just kind of too... You're standing in the open. You're standing in front of a Reinhardt. You're going for the Mercy. You get pinned. And then instead of jumping out to avoid damage, you jump in before you get bubble. And then you're going to force a defensive trance. You get what I'm saying? It's just a bit of a mess. So a lot of Winston play, especially if you know what you're doing, which is dive backline, coming from an angle, try to engage around my bubble timing. It's not good enough to know. You have to do it. You have to do it. So if you're coaching yourself here, what should you do right now?
First of all, just to say why, like I dived deeper. That's because the tracer voice in my brain is like, if you want to disengage into the backline, yeah. Oh no, like when I dropped and then jumped again, that's like crosswise of a different character.
Well, but you're not diving deeper. Like this right here. You're just standing in the middle of the open. If you were to dive deeper, what would that look like?
Oh, I thought I did. Have I just completely...
Yeah, you're gaslighting yourself.
Oh, hell yeah. Or maybe is that jump.
Right. But obviously at this point in time, what's your HP like?
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, because in my mind I'm like, oh, remember when you play Tracer? Like if you want to disengage, you should go into the back line, because then going back to your teams will get you killed.
Sure. So
like,
you want to go to
wrong advice, shouldn't have done it.
Well, maybe, because if we go with your parameters there, which is like don't go back to your team when you jump out. Sure. But then where would you jump? If you want to go deeper, if you want to get out, where would you go?
I suppose I could go into like that doorway near the Mercy.
You could, yeah. You could jump top. You could go here. You could go here, right? But where do you actually jump? It's kind of in the middle. The problem is it's not that you had the wrong advice, because it's not terrible advice for Winston. It's situationally useful to kind of like disengage toward the back. That's fine. But you didn't do that. You planted yourself basically in the middle of the open, right? You could have gone for this and maybe died, gone for this, maybe died, gone for this, maybe died, but at least there would have been some sort of logic based off of what you're saying, but that's not what you did. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is messy for sure.
Yeah.
I always kind of struggle with this point, although I have realised that diving above that archway is something that I should do more often. I just never really thought about it before. So that is something I've been folding into my gameplay as of late, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously not this time.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. Sure. I might even consider primaling this. I mean, I wouldn't have minded primaling this. If you secure the kill here, it's fine. Like, you're going to get help. Trust.
Oh, actually, that's another thing that I constantly kick myself for, and it's so frustrating. I keep on using Primal like I'm playing Guitar Hero. The moment I get to 0 health, I press the button.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Waiting till the last possible second?
Yeah, but it's one of those things that's like, I know I shouldn't. I'm trying to be more like, okay, when I get to 100, then I press it. Because I keep on thinking, get to 1. And then press it. And I cannot even begin to tell you the number of times where, like, in-game, I don't know if you'd be able to hear it, but I know for a fact it happens when I play.
The roar.
I'd hear the roar.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's because Primal Rage has a cast time.
Does it?
It's not... Yeah, it does. It has a cast time. And you can even get it... Start your Primal Rage and then get it refunded. Like, I've actually had where it starts the animation and I get it refunded. It could be a server issue, I don't know. But I've had it happen on, like, 55 latency even. So it just happens. You just have to respect it. And I also don't know that it's necessarily completely around HP either. So the reason why I would Primal earlier here is why.
I'm assuming I can Primal through Hinder, right?
Sure. Yeah, you can.
I mean, I'd say because they're right next to me, like I can pop it, I can immediately jug them into a corner or something like that.
Life tip, this guy does a lot of damage really fast. Life tip, this guy does a lot of damage really fast. You get what I'm saying? So your parameter of waiting till you're even 100 HP versus a casty Junkrat is not smart. It's smart if it's a Tracer. Yeah. Or a Brig, right? Because they're not exactly going to surprise you with burst as much. But not versus this character.
Yeah, that makes
You see what I'm
sense.
saying?
I constantly find myself on the wrong side of like where I need it to be. This
Yeah.
is just like a very clear example of that.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
know that it's not gonna be awful.
I don't think it's that deep. You went for a crazy kill. They crazy pushed you. You have Primal Rage. Do it. It's fine. It's okay. Just use it. That's all. And then be a little faster with it, especially when there's a lot of damage on the field.
And that for me, that's the key takeaway. It's doing it quick enough because so often I just don't. And I'll have Primal for so long because I just keep on dying and getting that run. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, this is fine. No problem. Good stuff. Okay, no problem. No comment.
I'm shocked at how many jumps I'm done. That's so bad.
Welcome to Winston. I told you this character's mechanically harder than you think. I told you this was like 8-9 months ago. I went on a Winston streak on stream just for giggles, you know? And I was like Diamond 3 or something like that. And I was like, man, I was like Masters the last time I played. This is terrible, right? And I went back and, you know, a couple of the Patreons and Twitch chat were making fun of my decisions and positions. And I'm like, no, trust. I'm taking the right angle. I'm doing the right things in my bubble. It's like, maybe it's not perfect, but I'm like trusting. So I'm like, well, if I'm doing all that, then why am I not winning? I went back and I looked at one of my replay codes just for fun. My mechanics were so bad. I was missing jumps. I was losing people with zaps. I was missing all my alt fires, all my melee cancels. I was wasting my primals. So like, I was right. I was actually being okay strategically, which, you know, I'd hope to do well at. But every little mechanical thing I could get wrong, including like direct jumps, I just missed. So I've coached a lot of Winston players, even up to like Diamond, who are like halfway decent strategically. Like they understand the fundamentals of the character and they just suck at mechanics. They don't land their jumps. They don't land their zaps. They don't land their melees. They screw up this. They screw up that. They waste their primals. They short jump when they should have long jumped, in terms of like the directional key input with jumps, you know? And
yeah.
The reality is that why so many Winston players suck at mechanics is because it doesn't feel like it's important, but it is. It's like something that you kind of like let it go, but it is. It's so important. Like how many jumps have you failed that actually mattered so far right now, right? How many jumps or zaps or alt fires have you missed or screwed up that have been important? A couple, right? And we're only like a minute and a half in, right? Or 2 minutes in. It's important.
The zaps definitely is something I could work on because you know it's important for sure. I just didn't think when playing this game, like, oh my god, I didn't realize I was missing so many jumps.
Yeah,
because I don't feel like I missed that many. Because if I do, I'll be like moron. Tying it up.
Yeah. But it's everything. Crazy. It's jumps. It's zaps. It's alt fires. It's like that right there. That's 60 damage. We needed that right here. This is. I mean, I wouldn't waste too much time on that, but yeah, I think this is too much time spent on a Valking Brigitte. I say that would be funny. A Valking Mercy. It's not worth your time.
Please don't. I actually want to sleep tonight. I'll do that.
Valking Brigitte. Yeah, to be honest with you, this was just a complete waste of time. This entire fight. There was almost a zero pressure because you spent it on a Mercy that you'd never kill. That's all. Beyond that, no feedback. Let's disengage.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's ego or if it's me just having just being honest with myself. I feel like I play a lot better than this because I was thinking, oh, I think this would be a good VOD because I think I played pretty well. But I'm looking at this and I'm just like, no.
I'm going to be honest with you, mate.
Way sloppy than I thought it would be.
This is exactly how you play. I promise you, this is exactly how you play. And I'm not just saying that to be, oh, because you're a gold player, gold 1 player, plat 5 player. This is what you deserve. Because I've literally been in the exact same scenario with the exact same hero. You go in with like this strategical superiority and just realize how much you screw up on the things that matter. How many details you get wrong. That was nice. Like this kind of stuff, right? Like this kind of stuff, you know? It's like, come on. You got to lock it. I
didn't see it. It was in the ground.
Oh, come on. Like right now, this Junkrat needs to die. Right now. He needs to die now. You need to kill him right now. Or Brigitte. That's fine. Sure.
I think I might have been
that was good.
For my team, maybe.
Your team has been fighting for like the last 10 seconds. Starting back when you zapped that Reaper. But this is okay so far.
Not my fault. That's not my fault.
Sure.
Stop.
Okay. All right. All is well. You're going to prove it to me here. You're going to lock in for this next fight here. It's going to be, you're going to have the most Korean primal we've ever seen.
No, I'm a massive doubter. No.
Minor positioning note here. I think just given where the fight started, I wouldn't mind an angle here instead. Just to provide like a more diametric flank, if that makes sense, because of where your team is. I think it's just a good general rule. When you have
That's
a choice.
also something I've realised, and I've also started doing that more often as well.
Yeah,
Same with like the arch thing. I've realised that that's probably a place I should be more often.
Just when you have primal, right? You're not really concerned about. You're not really concerned as much about your support. You're fine. And like right here, this is like okay-ish, but my goodness gracious, you have primal rage. Please lock in and getting value out of this right now. This fight started. Let's go. Like the all-fire was accurate, but we need to go. Sure. This is good. Might still be a lost fight, but maybe not. Dodge the pin. Good stuff. Cancel the res. And this is another one where, like, you have primal rage. Why are we being so hesitant here? We need to go. We need to stop this res and then chain into an actual kill. You get what I'm saying?
I think I only use primal for the life. I don't think I use it aggressively to get people dead.
You absolutely should. You absolutely should. Because it's not just about the primal itself. It's the ego that having primal allows you to flex, right? So right now, for example, you need to continue to pressure even though you don't have bubble because you have primal and because the fight is going right now, right? So we need to be here in her face going now. Now, if there's nothing happening right now, I wouldn't force the primal, but you need to be doing something right now, whether that's on Junkrat or Mercy right now, because this fight is still winnable. You get what I'm saying? So you're being a little too honest with your bubble cycles, I think, when you have primal. A little too honest. When you have primal and there's something to shoot, you need to use it.
Oh,
Please, please bubble, please bubble, please bubble, please bubble. You're gonna die if you don't bubble. Oh my gosh. That is something else, I will say. I can't tell who misplayed worse there.
It was them. Yeah.
Like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Like, this fight's happening. There you go. It's not happening here, but it is happening. There you go.
No comment, please.
See, even here, like the oh no, I thought it was 2/3. It's not even halfway. Crud. Okay.
No, I don't know what to learn from.
Okay, well, we're just gonna have to narrate it. So I want you to picture where you were right at that moment, which was you were on the Mercy Brigitte without bubble. Maybe you're concerned of Riptire there. It's probably a situation where it would be better for you to just continue to zap until you get low, then pop primal. Mercy Brig, no surprises. You're 500 HP with a bit of armor. You're good. Just keep zapping, keep zapping, keep zapping. That's when you would use the primal for a second life, because you just might as well just keep going, right?
Yeah, I think I exclusively use primal as a second life, and I think that's probably one of the main takeaways, to be like, you can just use it like just aggressively.
How you use primal there was okay, but it was more of a win. I think you could have greeted a few more seconds longer, with the exception of if you hear that Riptire going for you, right? So beyond that, it's okay. I'm going to gamble, because we gamble here. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're good. We're good. All right, so we're going to have to see all this again. It doesn't matter how far this goes.
Oh my god, I'm so good at this game.
4 HP. I would definitely pursue that, by the way. You win that 1v1 when he's half HP and you got bubble. And no Wraith, like 100%, by the way.
Is it worth using bubble to kill him?
Yes.
Instead of waiting a little bit and using my bubble for...
What is bubble for?
Like this?
What is bubble for?
True.
It's for killing people or threatening a kill on people. It's for pressure. You kill Reaper here, it's over. You're like, oh, but I can't jump Brig. Who cares? Reaper dies. So what I meant by this here, okay, I misjudged. You didn't actually have, but you had around 300 HP. I would definitely do more zapping, 100 HP primal, right?
To be fair, this could actually be maybe an overcorrection, where previously when I was in that room with the Junkrat, I was like, man, I need to use my primal, because if I use it too late, I'm going to die. So maybe that was like an overcorrection to be like, okay, well, listen, it's not going to happen this time. I mean,
but there's a reason we call it an overcorrection. right? There's a reason we call it an overcorrection. So I actually don't want to call it an overcorrection because I think that's wrong. I think it's an overcorrection because you're not thinking about the right things. Why is it okay to be more patient with the primal here? And why was it bad to be more greedy with the primal here? What were the difference in the circumstances?
The capacity for burst damage because the character does
Right.
20.
It was who you were shooting at that point in time had 0 burst damage. So then primaling early was a huge waste of time. If this exact same circumstance had played out with the damage boosted Junkrat, then the primal would have been fine because the target was different. So you're because
I'm not thinking about these things at all. These aren't even
right.
thoughts I'm having.
Correct. So you're making judgments just based off of 0 information, right? Like you don't know if you're going to get shocked or if you don't know if you're going to get a cookie. But you need to look at the color of the box, my friend, right? Like that's kind of the thing. This is fine. You definitely need to disengage this. Nice. You could definitely jump this here. Yeah. You're coming real close to bubble. They, the traps. My goodness gracious. And then another failed jump. Like that jump should have killed you right there, by the way. Just straight up. Absolutely should have killed you. Nice.
I agree.
All right. This is where I would cheat the system. Just because you don't have bubble here, probably just go in. I mean, you are doing decent damage with the Allfire, so it's not terrible. Okay. Alrighty. Staging. They're stuck on ball here. Any questions so far, by the way?
No. Everything you've said, unlike the last time when we was talking about Tracer, I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what's going on. I just want confirmation that what I'm saying is right, and you basically agreed with everything I said. Ego. But this is actually entirely different because this is like you're showing me things that I couldn't see before because maybe because I wasn't looking or just because I wasn't aware that was even a thing to consider to begin with. So like already there's like a lot of stuff that I can walk away from and be like, man, this is good stuff.
It's pertinent because 2 days ago we did a skill ceiling tier list and a lot of people were crying about Winston being in like A tier. They're like, it doesn't have mechanics, you know. And I think you're kind of realizing why, right? Because it's the timing of when you primal is dependent, landing your jumps, landing your combos, going for the right targets at the right time. When do you go without bubble? When do you not? It's complicated.
I'm going to be honest, I was quite impressed by the number of people watching that stream who didn't really understand like skill floor, skill ceiling, value floor.
It trust me, it was agonizing to have to answer the same question literally 40 times. It was a long stream day, I will say. Fun topic, but it could be a bit exhausting. It's the worst aspect of streaming is having to answer the same questions over and over again. This is fine, by the way. This is the kind of patience that I want from you in terms of your team is just not engaged at all. So if you at any time jumped here, you would be feeding probably. So I like the patience here. There's not a lot of poke damage from these guys. Now, you probably should go now, just based off of the information that you have about what's happening here. Like there's a fight starting now, so you should probably go. But like, hey, there we go. We go. Jump out now.
I was waiting just for them to come around the corner.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. And it works. It was good. Yeah, this is really good. And then here, you're going to go because low target. And you had primal just in case you needed it. But yeah, killing that Junkrat's very important. Because if you can kill this guy, like I might even go and get him now, maybe. Because if you can get the kill now, they're not going to have a touch. Nice job.
Dink.
Smoked. Not a great bubble. Needed to walk a little bit further forward. I think it was more of an expectation than reality of like who's going to be there. But you shouldn't get punished for that. I think you cap.
I bubbled this just because it's one of those things where it's like I can just stuff the choke with a bubble and then
but there's true, but there's nobody there. You get what I'm saying? Like you go here and you go, oh, there's nobody here. Let's walk deeper than bubble. Do the exact same thing.
Sure.
Because it was just the Moira at that point in time, and she was still a little further. You couldn't actually zap the Moira. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Overall, fine. Funnily enough, as much as we've griped about your mechanics in some aspects, I feel a lot of mental energy from you this game being focused on your alternate fire.
There's a reason for that.
Is it the chain lightning, or is it just something that you've been practicing recently?
It's a chain lightning.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I mean, it's your alt fire has been by far your strongest thing so far. Now, it's also helped that they've had basically no hit scan to punish you for using it a lot. So that is something to keep in mind, right? Alt fire is great. spamming alt fire at a hit scan at 20 meters that's dumping damage into your noggin. Not great, but they didn't really have that, so you're okay. It's contextual. But if you were practicing your alternate fire this game, I would say, nice practice, Redstorm. Congratulations. 2 thumbs up, right? If you were practicing your jump mechanics, I would say thumb down. If if you're asking, primal timing and positioning, I'd say, right? So we're highlighting those as weaknesses, but if you're, for what you were, I assume you were practicing this game, it's been good. It's been fine. It's all right. Yep, this is fine. No questions so far?
No, I'm good.
Let me see what Zenyatta doing. Nice alt fire. You could drop here. Yeah, I was gonna say you could drop here. Your team's fighting, so good stuff. Go ahead and jump out.
I do feel like one of the strengths I have with this character is I do have patience. Whether or not it's like correctly applied or not, I don't know. But I do feel like when I know it's not time to go in, or at least from my perspective, I shouldn't be going in. I do think I did a really good job of not and just like waiting.
Yes, we saw that sometimes too much on second point when you had primal and the fight was going, for sure. But yes, you are correct. Like, you are pretty good with being married to your bubble cycle. Now you say that, but you go for a jump here that might get you killed. Oh, okay, you missed the hook. But yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I would just die here. Just go for a kill. You have bubble. You need to go. So like your team is fighting right now. You need to go. This is good enough, right? And I think this is kind of where the alternate fire focus is means that your downtime is too high. You've had bubble for 4 seconds now. They've been fighting for 4 seconds now, and you still haven't dropped. You see what I'm saying? You need to go. You need to go right now. This fight is probably lost just based off the fact that your team got picked unnecessarily, but you can at least get some ult charge. You can at least stop cart. You can at least maybe get a trade. Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
I would take a guess. The reason I'm not dropping is because I feel like I want a more juicier bubble, but then I don't think that's necessarily the right approach to take.
No,
because I kind of just need to use it.
You're not always going to get it.
This is actually, yeah, and this is another thing I've also realized where it's like, I feel like it's going to be better for me to just do drop, bubble, it breaks, I jump out. Instead of waiting for opportune moments to do it, if I just do it more often, it will probably be fine and just do the cycle more rather than be like, oh, I'm going to wait a couple of seconds just in case I get like a really good bubble. It's probably better if I just do it over and over again.
I think what makes a better what makes a better pressure cycle, right? Is it a better position? Is it a better bubble placement? Is it being more picky about who you're going to go for? I mean, that's fine. But once the fight starts, you need to go. You need to go. So you can choose, do I want to go in Juno here? Do I want to go in Roadhog? Do I want to go in Moira? Do I want to go in Soldier? There's good and bad choices, of course, right? But you're waiting for hands in the air. I don't know. I honestly don't know what you're waiting for. You know,
like
you have bubble.
2 people to be directly underneath me so I can...
Right. So that's the thing. It's like waiting for 2 people is a mistake. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the Reaper stuff on second point. Remember when I asked you to go chase the Reaper without Wraith, who was half and you had bubble? And you were like, well, what is bubble for? It's to threaten a kill. On whom? You know, probably a squishy. From where? Well, wherever you're staged. Now, if you look at this and be like, my positioning is bad, I can't reach targets because my positioning is bad. Okay, yeah, we can fix that. But what are you waiting for here? Like right now, we need to go. We need to get on that. We need to get in that Moira. Now she ends up dying because your alt fire is just, I guess, 10 out of 10 right now. I mean, this is hilarious. You have had so much freaking impact with your alt fire. It's actually insane. That's fine.
Mate.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The chain lightning has helped, but it's just because you've been hitting every direct, basically.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Uh-huh. It's the perk that's making you focus on it, which is making you hit everyone.
Yep. 100%, and I'm not even going to insult you by pretending otherwise.
Yeah. Unlucky. He just walked up the elevator there. Oh my gosh, he just hit like 5 directs in a row. Did you see that? Oh my gosh, he got your Zen too?
It was play of the game, and I remember watching and thinking, what the hell is going on?
I wish I could go back and watch it. Yay. Okay. Sure. This is fine. Patience. 1, 2, 3. They're not even pushing payload here, which is actually banger. You guys are going to have a lot of time here.
I noticed that too. I was like, man, why do I have so much time? Like,
yeah.
I'm under so little pressure.
Yeah, this is good. Not good. You have primal and jump. Like, Why would you choose the Roadhog when you could at least force the Juno, or turn find the Moira, or turn find the Soldier? It's kind of cheeks.
I think still didn't see them.
Yeah. But you have to force it. You cannot find yourself bubbling on a Roadhog almost like in that situation. It's just wait. Oh, you're crazy. I would never trust my understanding of breakpoints to make that work. I would pop Primal 100%.
I did pop Primal. No, I'm doing it right now.
Uh-huh. I'm saying I pop Primal as he pops the Riptire.
I'm just built different.
I guess.
What you mean? I'm mid-built.
Yeah. I'm a soft American. What can I say?
It's like if you just describe something as broken, it can either mean this is like ridiculously overpowered or it doesn't function.
Yeah.
I'm just fluctuating between the two.
Okay. Gonna get our money's worth.
I'm trying to peek as little as possible when I do the ult fights as well. But it does kind of throw off my aim a little bit. But...
And that's okay. Yeah, it's the right idea. This jump was fine. I probably wouldn't force this as much, just because in theory you should die. Yeah, I was gonna say you should probably die for that. Probably would have waited here and then just jumped out once the jump didn't quite get what I wanted. You didn't really have any information as to that soldier's HP, so it probably wasn't the best engage.
Yeah, I don't think there was much concentration from me because I just want him dead. Like you saw the jump I did in the room and it was completely weird. So it was, it's just like no
good
brain cells behind.
Good. Man, you're so locked in an alt fire. It's crazy. It's good. Staging here. Wait for the passive HP to kick in. Get your scouting going. Ah, you're killing me. Okay, so it's probably fine to fight right now. Like, your team is fighting right now. But again, like, this has to be done on something else other than Roadhog, I beg of you. Whether that's Moira or Jonk or Juno or Soldier or anything. Stopping card even here is fine. Or slowing card. So, like, you do turn your attention to Junkrat, but because you go for Roadhog, the amount of impact that you have is lower than it should, and the amount of damage that you take is higher than it should be, if that makes sense.
I don't purposely go for tanks. I try and avoid them as much as I can. I think it's because when I was doing the scouting, they were all directly underneath me, so I couldn't see them.
So don't drop. Yeah, it's the same thing with the 2 fights ago, where you're like, oh, I didn't know where they were. That's zero excuse. You must find them. You must find them. Sure. Like, Roadhog, like, we say target priority doesn't matter, which obviously, like, you needed to do better scouting off of that. Oh, no, I accidentally pressed a button. Oh, I didn't crash. How did that happen? Okay. But with Winston, it absolutely does. There are some tanks that are actively sabotage your ability to trade properly. Roadhog is one of them. And so right here, I could tell you're trying to scout, but like you didn't even look a little further to the right. You didn't look underneath, and now you're dropping. And so the staging is fine. You disengage at a reasonable time as well, but not the best. All right, here we go. Sniper monkey. Yeah, see, this is what we want, right? Where's the Juno? Okay, let's go get that pursuit. No! Definitely jump and pursue with bubble there. Way too much attention.
That the hog is just going to, like, rinse me for HP, and so I need to bubble just to make sure I stay alive?
No. But you had an opportunity there with the Juno. The Roadhog wasn't even looking at you. Just jump, pursue. I mean, again, you're overcomplicating this question. Do not jump and pressure Roadhog. Are there exceptions to that rule? Sure. 1 out of 100. Stop going for Roadhog. That's all you need to know. Right? We've had 3 engages in a row, and this is where, like, you're overly strategizing around it, and the answer is just, hey, don't go Roadhog. That's bad. You know?
And it's funny because I don't want to go for Roadhog. I just feel like, oh, he's there. I need to bubble to keep myself alive. And ultimately, it ends up just being the same answer, which is I'm going for Roadhog.
You're going for Roadhog. Like, this just makes sense.
I'm trying to avoid my fate so much I end up causing my own misery.
And you died to Roadhog anyway, right? So this staging was from you is fine, but don't tell me that with all the scouting and information that you had, this was the conclusion that you came to, right? My goodness gracious.
Is it? I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's just what's happened previously. Every time I've gone for the hog, is it also because it's next to the cart? And everyone else is not on the cart?
Probably what happened is that you were going for the Roadhog because it was close to your staging ground, and you weren't sure if you should use jump from the high ground instead of just dropping and shooting the Roadhog. What's better, to use a jump to go for a squishy, or to drop on top of the Roadhog and save your jump?
That is also something I have been deliberately practicing, is trying to work out, or not work out, I know how to, because I'm doing it now, but like making a conscious effort to drop down so I can use my jump to get out because it's safer.
Well, the question is you just said it's something very important there. You do that because it's safer. When you drop on a Roadhog, that is not safer.
No.
So the
But even
purpose of
worse.
why you're doing it is it's like saying that like, I am going on a diet because it's healthy. Okay, sure. That's whatever you may. So I'm not going to eat anything for 3 weeks. Wait, I thought you were going on a diet because it's healthy. Yes, but you're not eating anything for 3 weeks. Correct. Is that healthy? Well, probably not. So go back to the first question. Why are you going on a diet? You get what I'm saying? So you're doing something with an intent, but then you're so locked into doing the thing, you're forgetting the whole reason you're doing it in the first place.
Yeah. That sounds like me in a nutshell, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's the
I'm so
overly
focused on doing this one thing. I just
right.
I will remove context.
Like this is exactly what we're talking about here. What's the rule with Winston? Dive squishy when team is fighting. Was team fighting? Yes. Why didn't you go? Because I might die. Because I jumped in. Okay. So you're just gonna let your team die like this? You're gonna cut. You're not gonna die yourself, but you're just gonna let your team die. You know, look at the kill feeder. It's over. Congrats, you didn't die. You know, like you had to go. You had to go, right? You had to go. Like it wasn't a clean dive. You had to jump all the way across and pray for it. But you had primal, you had bubble, you had HP. Go. That to me is where like sometimes the details matter. With things like, you know, when do you pop primal? Like, for example, this guy right here. That definitely factors in your primal timing compared to like a Torb. Or Torb, I say, Tracer. But sometimes I'm noticing with you, it's a very forest for the trees, which is kind of what we predicted, which is you're scared to go deep with jump, so you let your team fight and die by themselves. You're scared to go deep with jump, so you tickle a Roadhog instead. You kind of see what I'm saying? Or go ahead.
I think it's because I have thoughts that aren't combining together to make a bigger picture make sense.
Yes.
Because like I'll do things, I'm like, this is a good thing to do, but then it's like, well, no, because if I zoom out and I think, well, it's a good thing to do when it's appropriate to do it, but I think that's the problem that I'm having.
Yes.
Is that like I'm doing good things, now add context, and all of a sudden it looks really stupid.
You need a hierarchy. You need a hierarchy, which is I fight when my team fights. When I have bubble and jump, I look for squishy. You would prefer to not use jump, but if you avoiding using jump means that you don't fight with your team or you jump a tank or drop on a tank, then that's bad. That's bad. That's the third or fourth or fifth or sixth most important thing with Winston. You get what I'm saying? Like, we even saw this with our primal earlier where your team was like fighting and dying. You're 500, 400, whatever HP, and you're not dropping on a half HP resing Mercy because you're scared because you don't have bubble. And I'm like, my friend, you have primal. Drop on her. You need to fight now. Primal allows you to cheat the game, but you're like, oh, I don't have bubble. I don't want to fight. Sorry, you have to. You lost the fight because of that, right? And I think that's kind of one of those moments. Like even here,
I think that's a really good example where it's like what I'm doing is technically in a way right. It's like I shouldn't engage when I don't have bubble, but it's like that's not enough.
right?
Like if we were to take all of that and remove the context, then yeah, it makes sense. But like in the context, it's like no, you need to go now.
Yeah. Like even right now, I hear an active EDRE ultimate. I know I'm low in HP, but I'm looking. Anybody hit? You know, I have primal. I can cheat the system. So I'm looking around here. Instead of zapping Roadhog, I beg of you, I'm looking around and going, okay, do I need to be helping this somewhere? And then ultimately, because you're looking around for alt fire, you end up taking the shot anyway. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's what I would say. I'm going to cut you some slack because I do think a lot of what you're doing is because of what you're trying to practice, which is trying to be better. Nice primal, by the way. Which is trying to be better with your bubble timing and trying to land all your alternate fires. That's totally fine. But this is also exposing that when you were focusing on these things or you're fixating on these other things, that other basics really, really are not strong enough yet. This was a good primal. Okay. This is a really good fight from you. You carried this fight. It was a good bubble. It was a good primal. It was a good target. Nice. Okay. Let's watch a little more here.
so funny to me because I was like, man, I feel like I played really well, and then it's just like, nah, nah.
That's okay. Like I said, I know exactly how this feels with this character too. Let him come out. Let him come out. Yeah, I like this. Avoid the hog. Even greeting your bubble a little bit. I don't hate that. Yeah, and this is where you screwed up. He's not looking at you. What should you do?
I should just go for the Anna. And
Just go for the Anna, or even just fully disengage. Whip back to your team, or go for the Anna. Yeah, your choice. Your choice. But this is, again, a hesitancy to use jump to go in, which is understandable. But now this means that with this next engagement, you may never get your bubble back. Like, this hog could just hook you here.
I mean, just looking at it back, like, it's just like, yeah, this is so dumb.
This is good. This is kind of more of a panic bubble, but I don't mind it. At least you were able to get the engage that you wanted. They just have a lot of ultimates, and you guys don't. Yeah, that's okay. Let's take some notes. What needs to be improved holistically? What are the priorities that slip when you're working on other things?
I think I need to pay more attention to what's actually going on in game rather than fixating too much on the things that I want to practice, because I end up just...
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna step in. I disagree. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. What this highlighted is not that your practice system is wrong. It highlighted that you have other things that you should also practice interchangeably. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this showed that you actually, the way that you're practicing Ultimate Fire is really good. Apply that same level of energy and focus on when do I primal? When do I go in? You get what I'm saying? I think it's okay. So what things were slipping when you were working on your alt fire?
A lot of my jumps were very messy. Not getting to high grounds and just like kind of falling on the ground and being like,
okay.
This is
Jump
not what I want to be.
Mechanics. Okay. Forcing targets, being scared to jump targets. So going for tank. Also, too slow to engage when your team is fighting. What else?
I mean, there is a part of me that wants to understand the primal mechanics more, but I don't think that's ready for now. I think there's like other fish to fry.
Yeah, I think primal mechanics are okay.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay. How about the timing of primal based on who you are looking at? Burst damage, CC, right?
Yes.
What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that comes to mind. I think that's mostly it. I think that's mostly
it. Does cover a lot.
Yeah, it does cover a lot here. I think the big thing for you is it's trying to spot your blind spots, which is a bit ironic, where you were so focused on a specific detail that you're missing the most important thing. Now, if you're focusing on that detail because you want to practice that detail, then by all means go for it. Like if I'm practicing my alternate fire, like you were in that last game, that was great. Just apply that level of attention to detail to other basics as well. Like, when do I go in? If you only focus on alternate fire, then yeah, then we're going to have a problem.
I think it's actually really funny in a roundabout way, because the only reason I was focusing on my alt fires is because I buffed it up with a perk. And like, that's the only reason why. And then that ends up taking away from like other things that are more important. And then you can then have an argument as to like, well, which perk is better? Because I was kind of just experimenting to see how good the chain lightning is. I think there's like cool stuff you can do with it.
Yeah.
But maybe the bubble's just more consistent anyway. So if I was then to pick the other perk, would I then be focusing a lot better on my other stuff because all of my brain space isn't being taken away by like
or would you be fixating on trying to stay inside your bubble at the expense of like bubble dancing?
That I don't think so.
Okay. My point. I
What
don't
it
see,
was.
but see again. I don't think this is bad. I don't think it's bad. Like if you're fixating on a specific thing because it's a shiny new toy that you want to solve, that's okay. That's okay. But you're here to find out what's keeping you from Platinum 5, Platinum 4. This is it. So keep experimenting with the shiny new toys, but bring in a couple of the old toys too, occasionally. Mix it up. Do a little bit of both. You get what I'm saying? Balance. That's the
Are
key
you
thing.
seriously suggesting fighting with my team and going after squishies is an effective way of playing Winston?
True. Yes. Occasionally, it's the good old honest. It's like basically what I'm saying with you right now is you remind me very much of like some of these Instagram fitness influencers that are like so obsessed with like doing a bench press and a stability ball with one eye closed while like lifting your leg and doing ankle circles. Because it works your prefrontal cortex, pectorals, inner pec, quadricep, like fast twit, but I'm like, bro, just that's fine in moderation, but you just need to bench press, to get strong. That's a really important thing. And it kind of feels like with you, it's like we're really fixated on the alt fire, and I got to be able to, and you need to kind of do that in moderation, but then you need to also have games where you're just like, hey, I'm gonna land every freaking jump. Every jump, even if it is a Roadhog, I don't care. I'm landing my jump. I need to set up my angles and go for backline with bubbles, over and over and over and over again, Just stuff like that. Because if you think about it, even the primal timing, that's a detail. That's a flashy little detail. Okay, I got to time my primals perfectly depending on who I'm jumping, right? So I'm not just saying only fundamentals. I'm introducing some new details too. My point being is that you need balance. That's the key thing, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, 100%.
Okay. Any questions?
Honestly, no. I'm so refreshed that like looking at the gameplay is